everybody. Thank you for joining Lauren and Sarah today for some makeup therapy. And you know, right now it's in the afternoon, but we really wanted to film a get ready for you guys for the month of October. So we decided to focus on a date night look. And I know with my makeup, it's always been my me time. And I think a date night is like really important to have that me time so you can be present and focus on your husband. What do you think, Sarah?
I could not agree more. My husband could not care less what I look like. You know, I could just be wearing completely no makeup or not. So it's really not about me wanting to look good for my husband, although, you know, I do like to look nice for him, but it's really more about me, yeah. Just really kind of centering, focusing, getting ready for the night to be able to enjoy him, so.
Exactly. And you know, they always are few and far between, even if you have one kid, but when you have 4 or 5 kids,
yes,
it becomes just that much more special to be present.
Totally.
So we went totally different directions with our looks today. Sarah is always really great with the, you know, the bright, bold looks. She's got the really fair skin for that. That really pops. And I like to get matchy with my makeup. So I went ahead and wore a really nice deep fall smoky type of colors to coordinate with the equally interesting shirt. So I'll timestamp below so you can skip ahead to whichever look you want to see first. And here we go.
Alrighty, so I get to take the lead this time, and here are all the wonderful products that I get to use that Lauren's letting me borrow in her brand new studio that is gorgeous. And she even got me this spatula here that I'm using to put on my foundations. I did bring those because, you know, you have to have your own foundations for your own skin type. One of the many benefits of being able to be here in Lauren's space is I get to use her makeup. And I also get to use her tools sometimes. So this Real Techniques brush I'm using right now is my first impression. So comment below if you think it worked out well. And there you go. Now I'm an official YouTuber. Aren't you loving just the way that's so well lit in that room now? Well, this is Lauren being her extra self. She took a desk lamp, duct taped a roasting pan, and covered it with parchment paper to make a DIY softbox. Okay, Lauren, with your bad self. So touching base on what we already mentioned before, Richard and I don't get out on date nights at often. Finding a sitter can be a struggle. Now, since my mother-in-law did move back to Ohio, she's helped us out a lot more than before, but it can still be hard to get her to come over with her schedule being busier. So help a sister out. What are some ways and what are some things that you do to find a good sitter? So my looks on date nights, I like to go a little bit more subtle than normal because my husband, he doesn't really mind if I wear makeup, but he actually would rather if I didn't wear makeup. But because it's not all about him, I do like that little time of me time. So I do wear some, but I do go a little bit more subtle than I would if I was going out with like my girlfriends. Because my goal is to be subtle, I gravitate towards, you know, purples and pinks and other neutral colors. But sometimes to give it a little bit of spice, I will pick up on a focal color on what I'm wearing that night. I use Kat Von D, 3 of her palettes for this eye look. They're just so buildable, and I really love the creamy texture of them. And sadly, 2 of them are actually limited edition, and so I won't ever be able to own them. But that's why I just really love Lauren. She's so wonderful and shares. And at the end of every eye look, I always do an inner eye highlight. And now it's my favorite time, glow time. And I just love to glow because it's a nice, pretty way of glistening instead of, being a big girl that I am. I do sometimes sweat, but this is the pretty kind. And here we go with our wonderful Lash Paradise, my new favorite mascara. And we just did a giveaway and someone won one for themselves, so it's awesome. I'm one of the people that appreciate a more natural, full look on my brows, and so I just use tiny upward strokes just to fill it in and make it look more natural and not to overpower my eye look. And last but not least, I'm going to practice what I preach, and to distract from the uneven parts of my mouth, I'm just going to put the gloss in the center of my lip and to give it a nice full plump look.
Alrighty, so it's my turn to try out the studio space. I'm really excited, and here's just a quick shot of all the products I'll be using today. And as you can see, I'm doing my typical mixing of foundations, and people often probably wonder why you would mix a foundation. Why not just find one? And with Cabos skin, I find I need the setting and transfer resistance of matte, but I also need the moisturizing and self-care of a dewy foundation. So if I mix them, I find that it's kind of the best of both worlds. And long before we started doing these makeup challenges with Sara, I had been kind of challenging myself to match my makeup looks to whatever I was wearing. I know many consider it a fashion faux pas, but I really do like certain colors more than others. It shows up in my wardrobe, and certainly in most of the makeup I had before I started really expanding everything. So it was just always something personally fun for me to do. And yes, as you can tell by some of these colors, I am busting out that Subculture palette again. I know it might sound like I'm obsessed with it, but really it just comes down to it's the newest thing in my collection. It has some wonderful colors that coordinate well with many of my outfits. And I'm really kind of still experimenting with the range of looks I can get with it. So I promise, I guarantee the next makeup video we do, I will not use this palette. And this is where having a new recording setup kind of bit me in the butt. I was really trying to hold my brush in new ways so that I would not be blocking your guys' view like I do in my videos. And the fallout was insane. My lashes kept knocking all the shadow off the brush. I mean, let's all just take that in. And this is why the makeup gods gave us Tarte Shape Tape. I mean, it really does cover up everything. And honestly, in the course of recording this look, I think I made every makeup mistake possible to, my eyeliner getting on the bottom lash line, my mascara getting in the look. And y'all, smash that like button down below if you really want us to do how do you fix all the things you can mess up in the course of doing your makeup? And for anybody who thinks I have no pores on my cheeks, this is my secret. You just take a damp sponge and you push a loose setting powder into your wet concealer. This makes everything mesh with the skin, and that powder will just diffuse the light when it hits it, hiding all your little imperfections. And I think the number one thing is I don't like baking. It makes too much of the powder grab onto the concealer. So as you can see, brush it off and then work it around the rest of your skin, and it will make everything smooth and flawless. So if you were a good observer during the intro, this is not the final look for my hair. I'm not just pinning it up funky to keep it out of my face. I'm actually doing a trick that if you want to get long beachy waves, but you find that they fall flat, while the hair is still hot, just take your finger and kind of wrap it back up into a curl and pin it to your head and just let it naturally cool down. This gives the protein structure in your hair time to set so that when you take them out, it holds the curl for longer without having to use any products. And for those who think that my tight lighting technique sounds too torturous, here you can just see I'm using a black shadow and pushing it into the base of my lashes to give me the same effect without having to shove a pencil on my eye. So, hope you enjoy that. So as I made mention before, this is a new studio space. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I literally went around the house collecting all the things that I've gathered from family and friends throughout the years that I thought was pretty, and my kids have yet to not destroy, and I thought it would be a nice time to put it in a safe little me space. This formerly was our children's playroom, but you know, after they trashed it so many times, I decided to confiscate it for mommy. And yeah, let's just all hope this continues to go well. Now, since this is about date nights, I want everybody in the comments to talk about where they like to go with their partners whenever they do go out. My husband and I, we really quickly fell into a routine of we had to go somewhere to eat. Then we had to go somewhere to pick up like an educational type thing. You know, we're really into bookstores. And then we had to go somewhere for dessert. And, you know, you think after 16 years that would get pretty boring, but you know, hey, it still works for us. Now, if anybody's been paying attention as they've been reading the descriptions of all the tools we're using, you see a lot of real techniques. And if you want your chance to get your hands on some, but you know, you're a little too afraid to drop more than a couple bucks on a brush, you can watch our October's Mask and Mingle. We will be giving away a set of face and eyeshadow brushes. You have all the way through October and November to enter, and we will be announcing winners in December. So you go over, head to that video. I'll put a link below, and yeah, hope to see you enter. And here's a prime example that what will look great when you first put it on doesn't stay very great. This look came together gorgeous, but that lip topper I put on the end bled everywhere, and I was constantly rubbing it off my teeth for the next 3 hours.
Liked our date night get readies with us, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe.
And you can also follow us on our other social media. We're very active on Facebook and Instagram, and all that information will be in the description box below. Bye.